Yo, yo, RX back with another breakdown of UFC 322 Della Maddalena versus Makachev. We back with another breakdown of a pay-per-view in the garden that is phenomenal. I don't need to tell you this card's amazing. You already know it. This card's amazing. 14 fights, none of them I can really call bad. Some are not the greatest in the world, but pretty much every fight's pretty solid. This is a great card. I don't need to waste much time on this intro telling you it's great. If you don't know this card's great, either you're new to the sport and hell of a way to come into the sport, you're gonna enjoy this card, or you're a fucking idiot. Like, that's simple. Even if you're not a fan of some of the fighters on the card, like, I'm not a fan of some of the fighters on the card, but they're still a phenomenal card. I can't fucking wait for it. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what it's all about. We made it through 2 Apex cards, even though they were truly not that terrible, and now we get a fantastic pay-per-view in the garden, our last ever pay-per-view in the garden. Obviously, we'll be back next year for a numbered card, but obviously it won't be a pay-per-view. You know how the Paramount deal works. And, yeah, this is gonna be phenomenal. I, cannot wait for this card. I'm happy I don't gotta sell this card to you like I do, or shit on it like I do on a lot of these intros. I can just tell you the card's great, you know it's true, it's not even my opinion, and we just move on. So, yep, this card's gonna be phenomenal. 14 great fights in the garden. I can't wait, you can't wait. What else needs to be said? So, let's not wait any longer. No really need to waste a lot of time on the breakdown here, so we're on the intro to the breakdown here, because usually I would waste it telling you how great the card is, but I don't need to, so let's just get into it. And the final thing to say before we do is, as always, the normal YouTube bullshit, which is, please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn subscribe by the end of 2025. And with that being said, unless I'm going to say something, which I don't believe I am, you know this card's great. No need to waste time telling you such things. So, let's get into shit. We have 14 fights to break down in the garden for a great, maybe the card of the year. Looking at the other pay-per-views this year, this could easily take that crown. So let's get into it, shall we? 14 fights, 322 breakdown. You ready? I know I am. So let's get into this shit, shall we? UFC 322 breakdown. Begin. And we start with the early prelims. I feel like we've not had early prelims in a while. I think the last one was 320, right? Because I know the Gone card did not have them. They were just one big prelim, so it's almost nice to be back on early prelims. And we begin with a fight with the worst fight in the card, opening the card, which is a fucking rarity. Usually it's like the co-main. As we have in our first fight of the night. Yes, it's the worst fight of the night, but this is still a very solid fight, and I think it should be a fun one. As we have in our opening fight of the night, that was booked, I think, like, last week. I think it was, like, fucking Thursday last week, or Friday last week, so thrown together very late, but it makes sense why. As we have an open UFC 322 in the lightweight division with a very decent, worst fight on the card, but still not terrible. We have Vyacheslav, the Slava Claus, Borshev versus Matthias Jaguar Camilo. Fine fight here, nothing phenomenal, but still a fun one. Slava Claus is always a fun fight, usually. Very Apex-ish feeling fight, but And they were thrown together last minute, mainly because Camilo was meant to be on 321, but Abdul Karim Al-Sawadi pulled out, and I guess Slava Claus was looking for a fight, so they threw this together again, I believe like Friday last week. Very short notice for both. I'm shocked this is actually a lightweight fight still, even under those circumstances, but I guess these guys probably don't cut a lot of weight out, I have to imagine, so yeah, that's how we got to this first fight of the night. Let's talk about it. Fun one, and we begin with, it's almost December, so it's always good to see Slava Claus beginning the night with our first fighter, Borshev, 8-6-1, 33 years old, 3-5-1 in the UFC, coming off the Contender Series many years ago. I think that was one of the first Contender Series I watched, I believe. His wins in the UFC have been Dakota Bush, Machate, and James Lontop. He's lost to Mark Diakase, Mike Davis, Chase Hooper, Tom Nolan, and Terrence McKinney. Yeah, they draw with Nazim Sadikov. He's had a really weird career. Like, he's had a couple wins, but against bottom of the barrel fighters. And his losses are usually against guys who are subpar, but they just know how to grapple. Diakase, Davis, Nolan, Chase, fucking even Terrence McKinney barely knows how to grapple, and he ran through Slava on the ground. And he had a phenomenal fight from Nazim Sadikov that went to a draw, and let's see where Nazim Sadikov is now. That's insane to think about 2 years ago. But in the Garden, so maybe Slava will make magic again in the Garden. So is he a great fighter? No. He's a really good kickboxer, but he kind of reminds me of like a male Maria Akapova in the terms of, in a kickboxing match, he's really fucking good. But when you implement the grappling, he's terrible. Again, Terrence McKinney turned into goddamn Hamzat against him. Like, so in a kickboxing match, he's really good. But anytime it has to hit the mat, the dude's just lost. He's just lost. And the only fight he's really lost in a striking exchange is Tom Nolan. And even that was a lot of grappling at times, so I don't know. Like, Slava is clearly fighting for his job here. A loss here would get him cut, which sucks, because who doesn't like Slava, but it would be a necessary move to make. You know, this would be a third fight of the year, but also third loss of the year. He's not bad. Again, kickboxing-wise, he's really good. But it's just everything else-wise, the cardio is okay. His durability is really good. But his grappling sucks. It just is, and which is insane that he trains with fucking Team Alpha Male and Uriah Faber, a guy who's really good at grappling. And you would think he would teach Slava how to grapple, but clearly that's not really been something they teach or he's really caught on to yet. So we'll see like, this is easily probably the worst fighter Slava's fought in the UFC. Definitely on par with Dakota Bush. I think I'd probably say Lontop and Machate are better than Camilo, so this is definitely probably Slava's maybe easiest opponent in the UFC. Let's see what he can make of him, man. He needs a win here or he's getting cut. Can he keep it standing to win? Let's find out. Because he is fighting the still pretty unknown man, because he sucks. Let's say is Camilo, 9-3, 24 years old, 0-1 in the UFC, coming off Dana White's fucking looking for a fight thing when he beat this guy, this was that guy at that press conference. I think it was Holly DePoria, where he was like, "Oh, can I get a fight, Dana?" But he had a fight booked already, so if he won that, he would have got a shot, but Camilo won it, and Camilo got his shot. Too bad he did not make the most of it, making his debut back in May and losing to Gabe Green. From what I remember from that fight, Camilo gassed really badly. I believe he had like a choke-in for like a solid minute or two, but he didn't get it, and he kind of just gassed himself from there. And then Gabe finished him around 2, and it's like, that's a very, like, underwhelming debut for like beating an 8-0 guy coming off Dana White's looking for a fight thing, which has not really produced a lot of talent. I think got Marab, and that's about it. Yeah, that's where they found Mickey Gall, legend, so kind of checks out. I don't know. I did not see anything too impressive of Camilo there. Again, Gabe Green was able to beat you. Who I don't think Gabe Green's awful. But he's still not some phenomenal fighter. So, Camilo getting a second chance here. A loss here would probably get him cut because he's not a guy who came off Contender Series or tough, came off looking for a fight. Look at Mickey Gall. I gave him a job for life, it would seem. So we'll see. He needs to show anything impressive here because God, that debut was pathetic, and I think he was a favorite in that fight, no less. Yeah, a giant favorite to a guy who was on the ropes of getting released. So let's see what Camilo can show here. I don't remember really seeing any striking from him in that first fight. I'm not gonna lie. I remember that his debut very limited. I remember it was a submission. He didn't get, and then got gassed and got finished in round 2. Is about the long and short of what I remember. So take that as you will. I don't know. He needs to show something here because he looked pathetic in that debut. So. See what he can show, and it's more than likely a loser gets cut fight, I would have to imagine. The man's first fight are still picking Camilo, giving him another shot after the green fight, having him minus 175 to plus 135. I really don't understand those odds. I would either have it a pick'em or Slava the favorite, and I get not having Borshev the favorite, so I would probably think a pick'em would be fair. 5'11", 5'10", 69 apiece. Camilo 74% picked, so yeah, so about what the betting odds say as well. I think I'm gonna start with the card with an underdog. I'm going Slava Claus. I think he's better. I think he can survive on the ground and let Camilo gas out. I think Slava can go out there and get a finish. I just think he's better. I don't think Camilo's that good. From what I saw, he just does not look very good. He looks like he should just be a regional scene guy, because again, that debut was pretty pathetic. Especially under these bright lights, somewhere Slava has fought 2 years ago against someone much better and performed very well. And for Camilo going under the bright lights for the first time, how is that going to affect him? I'm on Slava. I think he's better. I think he should win this. Give me Vyacheslav Borshev by knockout in the... I think second is fair. Round 1 could be a little bit sketchy. Probably just going to be Camilo spamming takedowns. But I'm going to probably go with Slava by knockout in the second. How many round 2 knockouts does he have? Oh, he has more than he does in round 1. 3 apiece. Okay. How many does he have in the UFC? 1 in the UFC. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go Slava knockout round 2. I just think he is better if he can survive on the ground early, not get submitted and let Camilo gas himself out a bit. I think Slava's the pick here, so give me Vyacheslav Borshev by knockout in second. Going with my first underdog of the night. First of a few, which I said that last week, and that turned out great, so can't go much worse than it last week for 1-3 fucking record. So, and actually the one dog that won was a guy who was a favorite by fight time. So, yeah. Yeah, give me Vyacheslav Borshev by knockout in the second. Give me the underdog. I think he's better. I think Camilo will do what he did last time, gas himself and get beat. Give me Slava by knockout in the second. I think he's better. I think he's going to save his job. He has to win right around Christmas. Or right, not long beforehand. Give me Slava by knockout in the second to start the night. I think he's better. I don't think Camilo is anything special. Let him gas himself and win. Give me Slava. After that, we get to our second fight of the night, the easiest fight to pick on the card. Not gonna waste your time here, because no time needs to be wasted here. As we have in a fight that's shockingly low on this card. This dude was the prelim headliner when he debuted, and it's the second fight of the night. Weird. As we have in our second fight of the night, at middleweight, our first of 4 middleweight fights on these prelims and the card in general. A lot of middleweight action. As we have in the second fight of the night, the easiest fight to pick on the card. Not much more needs to be said here than what we all know. And that is we have Baisanger, Hunter, Susurkayev versus Eric Makaneko. Susurkayev knockout round 1, lock of the night. that anything else needs to be said. I know people give Susurkaev a lot of shit for his debut against Eric Nolan, where he looked pretty meh, but yeah, remember he had 48 hours to train for that fight. He just came off Contender Series. The ink was not even dry on his deal yet before that fight got booked. This fight we're gonna see the Susurkaev we saw against on Contender Series, I think, and he's gonna run through McConaughey because McConaughey's garbage. 6'2" at 6 feet, 79, 77, 96%. Yeah, Susurkaev, lock of the night. I think he's up to minus 1,000 now, which is fair. He's gonna win. He's just better. McConaughey's shit. He's coming off a win because he fought Cody Brundage. Susurkaev knockout in the first, lock of the night next. Nothing more needs to be said. After that, we get to our third fight of the night, our first of 2 ranked female fights on these prelims. I think that's the third week in a row with 2 ranked female fights on the prelims. But unlike the last few weeks, they don't deserve to be on the main card like in the last 2 weeks. These fights are fine here, and let's talk about the much better of the 2 ranked female fights on these prelims, beginning with the third fight of the early prelims at strawweight for the number 13, 14 ranking, I believe. Maybe it's 12. We have the OG legend Angela Overkill Hill versus the Archangel Fatima Klein. Good fight here. Good fight. Always good to see Angie. I'm wondering if this is her first time fighting in the Garden. I would have to imagine so that's really cool for her. Fighting a very, very, very good prospect in the division. Probably the best one right now in Fatima Klein. Yeah, this fight's great. Well, good. I won't say great. It's a good fight. OG versus prospect. The Angel Hill special. Yeah, for the number 12 or 14, 13 ranking, whatever Angie is. Very good fight. I'm excited. This should be fun. Big names, big name on these early prelims. Probably the biggest name on these early prelims being Angie, so let's talk about it. We'll begin with the OG legend, Angela Hill. Not going to waste a lot of time talking about her because we can be here forever. 18 and 15, 40 years old, going to be 41 in January. 13 and 15 in the UFC. Talk about her last couple fights because obviously going over her whole career would take forever. In her last, we'll say, couple fights, we'll go since the Mackenzie Dern fight where she did get dominated. She has, in the last 5, she has won 3-2, beating Denise Gomes, Luana Pinheiro, and Kelvin Souza. Did lose Tapsa Ricci and Asmin Lucindo, even though that Ricci fight was very debatable. I thought you could give that to Angie. They didn't, and she is 3-2. So, still winning at a high percentage against, again, not terrible competition. Denise, we just saw one last week. Pinheiro, that was a awesome submission. Kelvin Souza was riding high at that time. Angie still got it, but she is coming off getting kind of embarrassed by Asmin Lucindo. Just got schooled, really had nothing for her. I think it was 40 versus 23 or some shit, so a giant age gap there, and it showed, and Angie just got dominated there, so probably the worst she's looked in a fight since the Dern fight, and so not great to be taking out that bad a lot, but it happens, and now she's back. Getting her third fight in this year, very active as always. Let's see what she can do here, fighting a very good prospect in Fatima, another one who's gonna try and grapple her like Asmin did, but Fatima can also strike, so kinda like Lucindo. I think Fatima's better than Lucindo, so we'll see how Angie fares here. She is 40, she is losing a lot of either, I don't want to say the lackluster skills, but she didn't really have power to begin with. She has even less now. She was never a grappler. Her cardio is still okay, but it was never great to begin with. She's again older. She's fought so many goddamn times, and she's still kicking. She's still kicking. You can never count her out. She's kind of like female Neil Magny. She will always be there. She'll always somehow find a way to win a fight at some random point in time. And yeah, picking against her is always a worrying thing. So at least I think, because she could always fucking win. So I've seen it happen so many goddamn times. I've been hyped on a prospect, picked her to beat Angie, and she fucking done demolished them. So I've seen it happen. Could happen again here. Who knows? It's Angie. We'll see what she does. We know what we're getting with Angie. We'll see what happens. But she has a lot on her plate this fight, because she is fighting the very good and almost scary how good she is, Fatima Klein, 8-1, 25 years old, a 15-year age gap here. Teammate of Aaron Blanchfield, who fights on the prelims later, 2-1 in the UFC, made her debut on very short notice against Jasmine Jasovicius, up a weight class, did alright, but did get beat, but since then she's routed off 2 great wins at strawweight, smashing Victoria Dudakova, which I believe was the first finish of 2025, and head-kicking Melissa Martinez out of the UFC, so she's looked good so far, man. I guess against bad competition, but she still looked pretty damn good. And now she's getting a top 15 shot, which I didn't think they were going to give her yet. But I'm not upset that they are. Plus, they need to fucking get anyone in that strawweight division ASAP. So, yeah, I'm more than okay with that. Yeah, Fatima's good. She's like, I'll just be honest, I think she's like Earn Blanchard, but better. I think she's much better than Earn. And she has really good grappling, but she also has a lot better striking than Blanchfield. Clearly some good kicks, power. She's good. She's well-rounded. She's very young. Good team around her. She could be something interesting in this division, which I know I've said many times. Yasmin Hauragi comes to mind right off the bat for that statement. So, you know, it's just, we've said that about Bigodinez for years. So we'll see what happens with Fatima here getting a big fight, getting the Angela Hill test, which is a test many have failed, like fucking Denise Gomes, Lupi Godinez, Emily Ducote, etc., etc. So, God, she was meant to fight Alexia Cianara on Contender Series. That would have been a banger. So it would have sucked to see one of them lose, but thankfully they're by the end of this week, and they might both be ranked. So we'll see. Fatima's good, very good, but the Angela Hill test is hard. Even with that 15-year age gap, even for how good as Fatima looks, you can never underestimate Angela Hill. Just like Neil Magny, you never know what could happen. I've seen it too many times with Angie. Anything is possible. Fatima's in for a real fight. See if she can pass the test. The betting odds say that she will with flying colors, having her minus 450 to plus 335. I think those are a little too wide. Again, Angie is far from someone you should just count out and throw to the side. I think Fatima should be a favorite, but I would lean more like minus 290. I think that'd be more on the nose. Like, she on paper and logically should win, but how many times have we seen this with Angie? How many times has Angie won as an underdog against these hot prospects? So it's far from anything new. 5'6" to 5'3", that's interesting. 67 to 64.5, a little bit of a reach advantage. 88% going for Fatima. 15-year age gap for Fatima getting a hometown fight here. I'm going for Fatima, that's for sure. I'm not gonna say I'm not, but I'm far from being as confident as the betting odds I guess I should be. Yeah, she should win, but again, would I call her a lock? Or, I would have her minus 290, which is still a big favorite. But I think, again, counting out Angela Hill is a mistake we've made in the sport too many times, and could it bite us in the ass again? I think it's more than possible, so we'll see. We'll definitely see. I'm intrigued. I'm going for Fatima, though. Always scared to pick against Angie, but I think Fatima is special. Getting the hometown fight, giving Fatima Klein by decision. She's very good. Won't be shocked if Angie does what Angie does and pulls off an upset, but I'm going to say she doesn't, and I'm going to go for Fatima Klein by decision. And what should be a really good coming out party for Fatima. Should be another good, well-rounded performance against a legend. And see what happens. So give me the hometown hero, give me Fatima Klein by decision. What should be a very interesting one. Can Angie pull off her normal bullshit, or does Fatima get a huge win here and get a top 15 ranking? Let's see. I want to go Fatima, even though I think that should be closer by decision. A finish here is super unlikely. So give me Fatima by decision to maybe be one of the few prospects who can actually beat Angela Hill. After that, we get to our co-main event of the early prelims. A very good fight in the featherweight division, probably for a top 15 ranking. I can imagine the winner of this will probably get a top 15 fight after this. Very good fight here between probably two top 20 guys in the division, as we have in our co-main event of the prelims another very good fight on this card and early prelims in general. We have at featherweight a very good fight between Shepe the Machine Gun Mariscal versus Pat Sabatini. Very good fight here. Good to see Shepe Mariscal back, getting a big fight here against Sabatini. The winner of this, again, will probably get a top 15 fight or something close staying to it, I'd have to imagine. Good fight, big fight. Could either be a main card fight of a fight night. Let's talk about it. We'll be in with the very underrated, because you really didn't get a lot of talk about him at the moment, Shepe Mariscal, 18-6, 33 years old, 5-0 in the UFC, since coming in on short notice against Trevor Peek in his debut, which he won about lightweight. So that was his first one, then his last four have been at featherweight, beating Jack Jenkins, Morgan Sherrier, debatably, Damon Jackson, and Ricardo Ramos. Dude's good. Dude's really fucking good. Have looked really good in the UFC so far. Only time he's really slipped up was that Sherrier fight. He might have lost that. Either way, that's his only close fight. Every other fight since has been domination. Destroyed Ricardo Ramos back in March. Yeah, what is really bad is I really can't think of anything bad to say about him at the moment. The weight miss against Damon sucked, but that was a one-time thing. And yeah, 5-0 in UFC, some big names on there. Dude's good. He's well-rounded. He's a really good striker. His takedowns look fine, defensively and offensively. Dude's good. I don't know what to really say. His wife was on Tough a few years ago, Claire Guthrie. She was decent. So yeah, like kind of just a couple who's not really getting a lot of talk about right now, especially Shepe, who should be getting a lot of talk. He's good. Again, I don't know what to say. He's pretty good. I think this could be a really big fight for him. A big win here. Hopefully we'll start getting people talking about him, because he does deserve a lot more eyes on him, since I do think he's right outside the top 15. And we'll see what he can do here. Dude's well-rounded, pretty good. I wish he was a little more active, but I get why he's been off for a while. I think he just had a kid during that break, so it makes sense why you take a break for that. But now he's back in the Garden. See what he does, man. Big fight here. Win here, and he gets a lot more talk on him, which he should be getting now, but I guess, yeah, people have not been watching Apex cards lately, which sucks. But good to see him out at the Apex and ready to get another big win. To do that, he has to beat the also very decent, even though not the most exciting, Pat Sabatini, 20-5, 35 years old. Just turned 35, so happy belated birthday to him. 7-2 in the UFC. In the UFC so far, he has beat Tristan Connolly, Jamal Emmers, Tucker Lutz, TJ Laramie, Lucas Almeida, Jonathan Pierce, and Joanson Brito. He has lost to Damon Jackson and Diego Lopez. You know, thinking about it, I've not really read down Pat Sabatini's win list in a while. You know, he's kind of a can crusher looking over it. Yeah, who has he really beat? Like, Jamal Emmers, I guess that was an alright win back then. Pierce and Brito were fine wins. But yeah, he's not really beat that high-level guy. Lost to Damon, which I remember that was a crazy upset. Diego smoked him. Yeah, he's kind of just been an Apex guy. I think he only fought outside the Apex like twice. I think Diego might have been the only time outside the Apex. Apex. Yeah, he's only fought out the Apex twice. His debut and Diego, crazy. But it does make sense, he's not the most exciting. If you want to be honest, if you want to see a Joe Anderson Brito fight, it's him laying on a guy for 15 minutes. That's what he did to Brito. And that's his game plan. He's not a striker, he has no striking. He does not have a good chin. His cardio's not phenomenal, but decent enough. Trying to get a win here and get that top 15 fight he's probably been trying to get for a couple years now. We'll see what happens. We know his game plan again. He's just gonna spam takedowns on Shepe. So we'll see if Shepe can keep it standing or reverse takedowns. Against Sabatini, he has no striking and no chin, but his grappling is good. His grappling is very good. So yeah, he's one-dimensional, but he's good at that one dimension. And we'll see if we can get that one dimension working here. Because if not, if it's a striking match, Shepe is going to win easily. And a grappling match, that's going to be a very interesting one to see. Because Shepe has grappling too. Let's see what Pat can do. This would either be the best one on his record if he can get it. Let's see if he can get it. The Bangers fight say he will get it, with him being minus 125 to plus 105. Close to a pick'em. Another fight where I would either have a pick'em or probably the underdog should be the favorite here. I'll go pick'em. I have no issue with that. 5'7" to 5'8", 69 to 70, so they're really equal there. Mauschkal 75%. I agree with the picks. I think Shepe is the pick to go here. It's close. It's not a clear fight, but I feel like Shepe is the right pick here. Pat is super one-dimensional. And again, unless Shepe just has no grappling, even though we've seen a little bit of it, doesn't look terrible. If he just has no grappling and gets thrown on the ground for 15 minutes, fine. But if that doesn't happen, Shepe's the better striker. He has better cardio. He has his own little bit of grappling, it would seem. It just, yeah, it does not feel like... I feel like Shepe's a little bit just a better fighter. I feel like he has more in his toolbox, something that Pat just does not have, being kind of just a grappler, a wrestler, not even a grappler, just a wrestler. So we'll see what happens here. I think it's an interesting fight. Striker versus grappler, the oldest story in the book. If Shepe wins, it means he's able to stop takedowns. If Pat wins, it means he's able to get takedowns and lay on him. Should be interesting. I'm gonna go Shepe by decision here. I think he's just a better fighter, and I think Pat, like the last two times he's fought pretty decent competition, and Damon, and well, actually Damon's not that good. And one time he fought someone really good in Diego, he mauled him. I'm not going to say Shepe's going to do that, but I think Shepe will beat him, and I'm going to go Shepe by decision. I think he's better, and let's see, I just think he can pass and beat Pat's one-dimensional fighting style, so give me Shepe by decision, and what should be a very interesting fight, good fight in that division, good fight in general. Give me the underdog. The second one of these early prelims, give me Shepe by decision. See what happens. Striker versus grappler. Simple, the oldest story ever told in this sport. And then after that, we end the early prelims at middleweight with another pretty easy fight to talk about. Not really much needs to be said here, which is sad, to be honest. As we have in our featured early prelim in the middleweight division, OG probably having his last fight in the UFC after a good run. As we have to end the early prelims, maybe an OG legend's last fight. We have a middleweight to end the early prelims, Gerald GM3 Mearshart versus the Darth Knight, Kyle Dawkins. Yeah, this is probably GM3's last fight, which is in the UFC at least, which is sad, but all good things have to come to an end. Sadly, it has to be by the hands of Kyle fucking Dawkins. Ugh. Yeah, I don't need to waste a lot of time here. We know GM3. He can't strike. He looked pathetic in that, I believe. I always forget who he just fought. Jacek fight. He looked like a fucking. I don't know if he just showed up for a paycheck or he just sucks. I don't know. He just got demolished there, and yeah, he's looking like he's at the end of his road. And then for Dawkins, coming off a good return one against Michel Pereira, I still think he's garbage, but they're giving him favorable matchups. What else am I meant to say? Dawkins minus 350 here. Yeah, I struggle to disagree, which is also a shame. Yeah, he should win this. He is 2 inches taller, but he does have a shorter reach somehow. I don't get how bodies work, to be honest. 91% picked. Yeah, Dawkins should win this. GM3, probably on his last fight. 37, gonna be 38 years old. 4-fight losing streak. I think this is the end of the OG legend. Let's see how he goes out. I hate to say it, and it's disgusting to say, but I'm going Dawkins by knockout in the first. He should be able to put out GM3 pretty easily, like Jacek and the last few guys who fought him did. And yeah, give me Dawkins by knockout in the first. I hate to say that, but yeah, he's one of the safest picks on the card. Could GM3 pull a rabbit out of his ass like we've seen him do 100 times? Yes. Will he? I doubt it. I hope. Trust me, I would love to see that, but I struggle to see it. Give me Dawkins by knockout first. He should put GM3 away and put him into either retirement or the PFL. So, give me Dawkins by knockout first and early prelims. Can't believe I'm putting Kyle Dawkins down as a pick. Ugh. Give me Dawkins by knockout first. And yeah, there you go. Those are the early prelims. Pretty decent, actually. Like, what would you say is bad about them? Like, yeah, I think the GM3 Dawkins fight ain't phenomenal, but yeah, that should be a finish. Slava and Camilo's fun. The middle three are very good. This is a fun early prelims. Like, if you swap these around a bit and fucking this looks like this would be a pretty good Apex card if you could get this in the Apex. Jesus. Yeah, this fun early prelim, 3 finish predictions, 2 big rankings, well, 1 ranking fight, 1 fight to see someone who probably will get a ranking fight after this. Good early prelims, I'm excited. Yeah, not really much more to say. But that's just the first set. We still got 4 more prelims before we get to the pay-per-view for second and last time ever. So let's get to those prelims. So we have 4 more fights, early prelims done. 2 hours later in real life. We'll see how they get those done. Hope maybe on time for once. So now let's head into the prelims, the main ones, the real ones, whatever term you want to use. And we begin with a fight that changed earlier today. Well, if this does not look like Cody Haddon, I'll explain why in a minute. Because, yeah, this fight changed a few hours ago from when I'm recording this on Thursday night. So, yeah, I'm shocked as well. As we have in our prelim opener in the bantamweight division, a very short notice, less than 48 hours replacement fight. Again, crazy. As we have to begin the main prelims at bantamweight with a super short notice replacement, we have Malcolm the Machine Wellmaker versus Ethan Ewing. Yes, I know you're asking, who the fuck is Ethan Ewing? Well, he is the person who stepped in for Cody Haddon, who pulled out earlier today or yesterday, sometime late on Thursday. So, yeah, this is a Adiba Gutierrez versus a Tristan Vines 2.0, if you want me to be blunt about it. Respect to this Ewing kid, but yeah, he has no fucking chance. He did just fight 5 days ago for Anthony Pettis, whatever the fuck, so that's cool, but yeah, this kid's getting his fucking teeth kicked in. I don't know what else to really say. Respect for stepping in, but yeah, he's gonna get fucking smashed. I'm guessing this is probably gonna be at like 140 or 145 catch weight, so that will be cool. And yeah, respect to the kid for keeping Wallmaker on the card. Sucks that hadn't pulled out, which was actually Wallmaker's second opponent for this card, and originally it was Siri City, so look at where we got. We went from City to Haddon to Ewing, and yeah, where we somehow made it here. Happy Wallmaker's still on the card. Sucks he's not getting a real fight, but another cool highlight reel will be neat. And yeah, what else is there to really say? Wallmaker, I think, is like minus 900 or some shit opening odds. He should be, or at least he will be by fight time. Yeah, he's winning this easily. Again, this is Tristan Vines versus Adipa Gutierrez 2.0. And yeah, Ewing can't do much worse than Vines did, I think. So, but yeah, Wallmaker knockout round 1. What the fuck else needs to be said here? Wallmaker's going to maul this poor kid and put him out pretty quickly. So, respect for him for stepping in. But yeah, Wallmaker's putting him into the fucking ground. So, what else is there to say? Wallmaker knockout round 1. Not the lock of the night. I already had my lock of the night said by the time this got cancelled, and B, we'll stick with Susarkayev. We don't have to do that to poor Ewing, so. But yeah, Wallmaker knockout round 1. What else is there to say? Respect for Ewing for stepping in to his funeral. After that, though, I'm not going to waste a lot of time on this fight because there's no need to. Nothing more really needs to be said outside the obvious again. So let's get the obvious out of the way. As we have in our second fight of the prelims in the top 5 of women's bantamweight or flyweight for the number 3 or 4 ranking in the division, we have a undeserved top 5 shot, but I'm not shocked, as we have in our second fight of the prelims a rematch from 2019, this time in the UFC. We have Erin Cold-Blooded Blanchfield, or Earn Blanchfield, versus Tracy, the model, even though she's not hot, Cortez. Blanchfield by domination, 30-27 decision. What else needs to be said? I know Cortez won the first fight. That was 2019. Blanchfield was 19. And, yeah. So, Blanchfield, domination. Cortez is I can't even call her a fighter. She's a model, and she's not even hot at that. So, what does that tell you? Yeah. Blanchfield by domination. Not very much else to say. Cortez is garbage. Blanchfield is probably the better striker and obviously the better grappler. Yeah, Blanchfield by decision. Domination. Nothing more needs to be said. I want nothing more, and I'll keep saying it. I would love nothing more than Blanchfield to elbow the shit out of Cortez, cut her up. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. I would love nothing more, but probably won't happen. So I'll take a quick domination. Blanchfield by decision. Next. After that, we head to our co-main event of the prelims, our start of our middleweight doubleheader to end the prelims. This is obviously the much better fight, but, you know, they gotta push genders and gotta push their boy in the feature prelim, so whatever. We still got this banger right before it, as we have in the co-main event of the prelims. A very good fight here. Feels like a top 15 fight, but it isn't, because this guy, he got kicked out of the top 15 after his last fight, as he deserved to be. So, but still a good fight in the higher echelon of middleweight, as we have in our prelim coming event, our first of 2 middleweight fights back-to-back to end the prelims. Roman Kopylov versus Obama or Gregory Robocop Rodriguez. very decent fight here. You know it's gonna be a fun fight when we got RoboCop in it. And I guess Kopylov there as well. It should be fun. It should be a decent fight. Let's talk about it. We'll begin with the the Russian who just got annihilated by Paulo Costa in embarrassing fashion. Roman Kopylov, 14-4, 34 years old, formerly ranked in the top 15, not anymore. 6-4 in the UFC. His 6 wins have been Alessandro Di Chirico, Punale Soriano, Claudio Ribeiro, Josh Ramos, Cesar Almeida, and Chris Curtis. He's lost to Carl Robertson, Albert Duraev, Anthony Hernandez, and Paulo Costa. Yeah, Kopylov sucks. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. You got 30-27, outclassed by Paulo Costa. Embarrassing. Completely fucking embarrassing. And, yeah, that's pathetic. I don't really know what else I could say there. Pathetic performance. How do you get schooled by Paulo fucking Costa over 15 minutes? Pathetic. It's just truly the simplest way to put it. I don't know what else to really say about it. Yeah, he's trash. You got 30-27 schooled by Paulo Costa. Wow. Wow. You suck. But then on the other hand, we got the opponent who's very good, the 17-6 Obama Gregory Rodriguez, 33 years old, 8-3 in the UFC. In the UFC, he has beat so far Jessica Dorich, Young Park, Julian Marquez, Chidi and Jokawani, Dennis Tullian, Brad Tavares, CLD, and Jack Hermanson. He's lost to Armin Petrosian, even though that was kind of a robbery. Bruno Ferreira and Jared Cannonier. RoboCop's really good. Not sure what to say. He's good. Is he ever gonna be like a top 10, top tier guy? No, but he's good. He's definitely probably top 15 worthy, and he's good. Like, he has bombs in his hands. He has grappling that he just decides not to use. He's really fucking good. I don't really know what else I can really say there. He's well-rounded. His chin's a little bit of a worry. That's always been a bit shaky, but outside of that, well-rounded, great power, great striking, good grappling, good cardio, veteran. He's good. Beat some big names, coming off a good one against Hermanson where he put him, and he hit him so hard he made him think he was a fucking welterweight. Which, yeah, we'll talk about that weird fight next week, Hermanson's welterweight debut. I doubt it. If he actually makes that, Jesus Christ. He's good. His only losses, Cannonier. Okay, that's understandable. Ferreira, not great, but got clipped. And again, Petrosian was kind of bullshit, so really just Bruno by fluke and Cannonier. He's good. Not really much else to say about Obama. He's gonna give you some Obamacare, alright? You might be waking up in the goddamn hospital. The big answers I have RoboCop the favorite, -160 to +135. He could probably be a bigger favorite. I think he could be upwards of like -190 maybe. Actually, I think he should probably be -200. He should win this fight. He's better than Kopylov. Yeah, he's better. What else can I say? He should beat Kopylov pretty easily. Yeah, I think he should be -200. He's 3 inches taller. Same height, or same reach, I mean, 76% picked. Yeah, I'm going RoboCop. I think he would get the win here, and I'm gonna go. I've been trying to think how I want to. Do I want to go decision or do I want to go finish? I don't see a decision. I think he's gonna finish Roman. I'm gonna go RoboCop by knockout in a second. I think he's gonna be able to go after Roman and finish him if Paulo was hurting him and finishing him and destroying him in a striking match. I see no reason RoboCop won't do the same, so give me RoboCop by knockout first. He's better. He should be a bigger favorite. He should win this fight. Kopylov, its ass. Yep, give me RoboCop by knockout in a second. Yeah, he should win. think he's better than Kopylov. Kopylov could win. Again, we know RoboCop has a very shaky chin, but yeah, he should win. And give me RoboCop by knockout in a second. Not very much else to say there. He's just better. Could see it going to the full 15, but RoboCop only doing that too often. So I'm gonna say he puts him out in round 2 and gets another good win for Obama. Not very much else to say. After that, though, we finally get to our featured prelim. 9 fights later, almost a full card half the time, but it's only the featured prelim here. As we finally get to it, this time we stay at middleweight for a second of the doubleheader, and yeah, this fight ain't great, but we already, at least it's not on the main card anymore, so that's good. As now we have in our featured prelim moved off the main card, excuse me, as it should be. Still shouldn't be this high on the card, but whatever. I think we're all more okay with it. As we have in our featured prelim at middleweight, thankfully not on the main card, Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo, the black belt hunter Ferreira. At least it's not on the pay-per-view. Still don't like it being the featured pre. I don't think it's that good, but you know, whatever. Yeah, this is a perfect fight for Bo Nickel. This is a fight I wanted to see them do, but instead they did every fight besides this. They gave him only strikers, and now that after he gets fraud checked, they're not giving him fucking grapplers. Sure, makes sense. Yeah, good to see Bo not on the main card, getting a fight that actually makes sense and is interesting. Let's see what happens. We'll talk about Bo Nickel first. Dana's fucking boy, who he loves. 7-1, 29 years old, and be 30 in January. 4-1 in the UFC, coming out to Contender Series a couple years ago. In the UFC, obviously again 4-1. He started off with 4 wins, beating Jamie Pickett, Val Woodburn, Cody Brundage, and Paul Craig. When that background noise ain't picking up on the mic. I guess fucking trains go by at 4:40 in the morning. And but he did lose his last fight to Vernier de Ritter, and now he's here. We all know about his first 4 UFC fights. He beat tomato cans, and most of the time he didn't look impressive doing it either. Then he fought Vernier, got embarrassed, and now he's trying to get any bit of respect back, which not gonna happen here. It's gonna need to take more than that, but you know, like, it is what it is. Let's see what happens here with Bo. This is a very intriguing matchup. Grappling wise, the best grappler he's fought in the UFC. See what happens. Has he improved his striking? Can he take a punch or a body shot? How does he do against adversity? Because in that Vernier fight, he quit. Let's see, can he live up to what the UFC wants him to be? Will that loss actually make him better? Let's find out. I think it's interesting. I think this fight is intriguing because it is an actual real test for Bo. It's not, they didn't give him goddamn Eric McConaughey or fucking Eric Nolan. Just saying about who Sirkaev has beat so far. They're giving him a legit fight that he should have already fought. To be honest, should have been one of his build-up fights. And we're gonna see if he's improved or not. A loss here and it would be over for him. A win here and it would be a really big win, especially if he can look decent. It'd be a good win for him to build himself back up a bit. And so, let's see what happens. I think this is a very intriguing fight for Bo. Let's see what happens. He needs this win. He needs to look improved. But will he? Let's see. Because he is fighting the very good grappler, but pretty shit fighter overall. Rodolfo Vieira, 11-3, 36 years old, 6-3 in the UFC. Yeah, again, is he a great opponent? No, but grappling or wrestling-wise, he's a very interesting matchup for Bo. His wins in UFC have been Oscar Piachoa, Sarprag Safarov, Dustin Stoltzfus, Cody Brundage, Armin Petrosian, and Tresean Gore. He's lost to Fluffy Hernandez, Chris Curtis, and Andre Petrosky. We know we're getting with Rodolfo Vieira. He's not really a striker, even though I know he looked like a good striker against Tresean Gore. Was that his striking improved, or is Tresean Gore fucking garbage? I'm gonna say the latter. His cardio's terrible, but man, he knows how to wrestle. So we know where he's gonna try and get this fight. He's gonna want it on the ground. And we'll see if he can get it there, because in the striking, Bo's better. Power, Bo's better. Faster, younger. So we're gonna see what Rodolfo can do here. He's gonna need to get this fight down, and Bo's probably the best wrestler Rodolfo has fought, so this is gonna be interesting. We'll see what happens here. Well, we know he's gonna try and get it down, obviously. So we'll see if he can, and if he does, what happens. Gonna be interesting. Gonna be very interesting. The betting on first fight, I have Bo Nickel minus 230 to plus 195. I'd probably move Bo down to maybe, I guess 230 ain't terrible, but I'd lean more maybe towards like minus 210, 200. He should be the favorite, but I think he opened as the underdog, so I hope someone got that underdog money on Bo. He is 1 inch taller, 3 inches in reach, and 82% picked. Yeah, he's the pick here. He should win. I think he's going to try and keep it on the feet, and I think he's the much better striker than Rodolfo, and I think he'll be able to beat him. But I am intrigued to see if these two do go into a scrambling match and what happens, so hopefully we do get to see that. But until then, I'm guessing Bo's going to try and keep it standing, and I think Bo's going to win that for sure, so I think it just could look a lot like the Paul Craig fight, for better or worse, probably worse. So, yeah, give me Bo Nickel by decision. Will he look improved? We'll see. I'm just intrigued in this matchup. I don't think he's going to look improved, because I don't think Rodolfo's a guy who can test those questions, and we don't know if Bo... We're not going to see if Bo has any durability, because Rodolfo can't throw a punch. So, we're going to find out. It's going to be interesting. I'm intrigued. Still shouldn't be the featured prelim, but at least it's on pay-per-view. Give me Bo Nickel by decision. I think he'll try and keep it standing and win a boring striking match. If it goes to the ground, I think it'll get really interesting. We'll see what happens. Give me Bo by decision in at least it's not the main card fight to end the prelims. So bang, boom, bingity bong. There are the prelims gone. Fun. 9 fights, none of them really terrible. Should be fun. Should be fun. I think I picked, 5 finishes on them? Sweet. And they should be fun. So, 9 fights, good fights at that. I'm excited. Should be fun. Card looks great. I can't wait. What else there needs to be said? We still got 5 fights on the main card. So we're already almost an hour in. Why waste any more time? Let's get into the pay-per-view, shall we? UFC 322, prelims done. Now we get into the main card. So let's do just that. Beginning with the main card opener to open the pay-per-view in New York. New York. We have to open the pay-per-view, the fight that got put on the main card over Bo Nickel. Thankfully, we have to open UFC 322's main card on pay-per-view. So for the second to last time, we have to open up in pay-per-view in the Garden. At lightweight, Benny Dariush versus the God of Boredom, Benoit Saint-Denis. Yeah, this is definitely the weak link of the main card. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think much of this fight. I think this fight would have been a lot cooler 2 years ago, before Benoit got exposed for being shit, and Benny, well, he was always shit. Yeah, not a huge fan of this fight. I think it's pretty, definitely the weak link of the main card. But whatever, it's a fight. Not gonna waste much time on it. Benoit should win this fight. We know Dariush coming off that win against Moicano, which I guess if you want to say, oh, Dariush is back, I think Moicano just fucking stinks. And then for Benoit, coming off fraud checking Rufy, sure, I guess somewhat impressive. Yeah, it's a fight. What am I meant to say? Benoit minus 190. Yeah, sure. Inch taller in reach and height. 67% picked. Yeah, give me. Excuse me, Jesus. Give me Benoit to win this fight by. I see him putting him out. Probably. I do think we'll probably see a striking Benoit here, unlike the last two fights he's had, especially since he's a better striker here. Give me Benoit by first round knockout, probably, I'd have to imagine, would probably be very likely. He should run through Dariush, who is 36 years old, and did get dropped by Moicano, if we remember that, in their fight. So, yeah, probably I'll go Saint Denis by knockout in the first. He should win, should finish Dariush. I wanted to go decision because I don't care about this fight, but I would feel fucking stupid doing that, so give me Benoit by knockout in the first. More than likely what I'll go is he should win, he should finish Dariush. Weak link of the main card, but it's fine, I guess. Yeah, give me Benoit by knockout in the first. Didn't he fight him at MSG against Ferola by knockout, so let's see him repeat history. Benoit knockout into the first. Not very much else to say. There you go. Definitely the weak link of the main card. But then we get to the stacked part of the main card, the big four on the card. Let's get into this shit. This shit's gonna be good. Even though for a few fights I won't go too in depth on, I'll still talk about them a little bit. So we'll begin that. We'll begin the big four with maybe the fight that are the most anticipated in terms of excitement. I think this is going to be awesome and short. As we have to start the big four of the card with our second fight of the main card, first of three main card fights at welterweight, a very important division on this card. We have in our second fight of the main card and our first of three welterweight fights on the night. And this one's obviously the easiest one to pick, probably the third easiest fight to pick on the card. We have Leon Crappy Edwards versus the Nightmare Carlos Prates CP. Prates knockout round one. Not very much else to it. He should easily win this fight. He could be upwards of minus 500. What is there to really say? Leon is garbage, and Prates should easily win this fight. Simple. Prates, but between him, Wallmaker, and Susurkayev, all three could be the lock of the night, and all three are gonna win. So, yeah, Prates knockout round one, easy. Not much else to it. Yeah, I don't think there's very much else to it than that. Next, Leon Edwards is garbage, and Prates is going to run through him like paper. Prates knockout round one, easiest fight on the main card, and one of the easiest on the card to predict. With Wellmaker and Susurkayev on the card, Prates would be my lock. But then we get to a much more difficult and just a really giant fight in the welterweight division to see who's probably getting a title shot next. From an easy fight in the division to pick to a very difficult, very good one. We have in our third fight of the main card featured bout to see who's might be fighting the winner of the main event depending on who it is. We have in our featured bout for probably number one contender, see, unless Islam wins and fights Ilya. These two are definitely praying for a JDM win. And we have in our featured bout of the pay-per-view, another great fight at welterweight, Sean Brady versus Ecuadorian Spider-Man, Michael Morales. Let's see who might be getting the next title shot in this division. If JDM wins, if Islam wins, obviously he's fighting Ilya, so Let's see. I know these two are cheering for JDM, but they have to win this fight first. Let's see if they do. We'll start with the higher-ranked guy, Sean Brady, 18-1, 32 years old, gonna be 33 in about 2 weeks. 8-1 in the UFC. Not going down his UFC career. He got knocked out by Bilal. Enough said. Yeah, this guy sucks. He's looked good lately. Well, he looked good against Leon, but that's a low bar. But how impressive is that? He beat Leon, who's his last 3 wins are Kelvin, Burns, and Leon. That would have been a great winning streak in 2018. Like, 2025, that's dog shit. So, yeah, I'm not really impressed. He got knocked out by Bilal. He sucks. Next. He's just a better Pat Sabatini. He's just a wrestler. He can't strike. Bleh. But the opponent, on the other hand, the very, very, very good, and God, I'm happy he's getting a good big spotlight here, Michael Morales, 18-0, 26 years old, 6-0 in the UFC, coming out to getting Tender Series a couple years ago. Since getting signed, he has beat Trevor Giles, Adam Fugit, Max Griffin, Jake Matthews, Neil Magny, and Gilbert Burns. Yeah, I'll be transparent here. He beat a lot of old dudes as well. This winning streak would have, your last 4 wins would have sounded great 5 years ago. But I do think Morales is still really damn good, and yeah, he fucking has looked good in the last couple fights. We don't know about his grappling, though, which we're going to find out this week. We know the striking is great. He's a great striker. He could either be really cautious and smart, or very powerful and finish fights. This kid's good. This kid's good. Getting a big shot here, a win here, he would be probably number 1 in line for a title shot. With JDM win, he would fight for the belt. If JDM loses, who knows what they do with Morales. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. We're going to learn a lot about Morales here. Does he have fraud checked, or does he show up and show out? Ecuadorian Spider-Man. We're going to find out about his grappling here, how he does against adversity, something we've not really seen him have in the UFC so far. Let's see how good this kid really is. Been growing slowly and slowly over time. Let's see, is this his coming out party, or is this his fraud party? Find out. The betting odds for this fight are leaning with the higher ranked guy and Sean Brady at -150, but it is a very close fight. I feel like this should probably be a pick'em, because we know Brady. He's not good, but he can grapple. Cool. Morales, we don't know anything about yet. We know he's a really good kickboxer. Or actually is a boxer, but can he grapple? We don't know. We've not really seen it. If he can, then he'll win this fight. If he can't, then he's gonna get hugged and beat. So we're gonna learn a lot here. I'm very intrigued. 6 feet 5'10", big height advantage, 72.5 to 79. Jesus, Brady 68% picked. This is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be very interesting. I'm intrigued to see what's gonna happen here. But this will be my first biased pick of the night. I'm putting my pick in as Michael Morales. I can't pick Sean Brady unless he's fighting a cam like Leon, and obviously he's not. He's fighting a legit fighter here. I'll never, with good faith, put a pick in as a tomato can who got knocked out by Palau. So, yeah, I'm putting my pick in as Michael Morales. Do I actually think he's gonna win? I don't know. I think this fight's very 50-50, should be a pick'em, and I think it can go either way. But biasedly, because when it comes to big fights, I'll rather pick who I want to win than who I think half the time. So give me Michael Morales by decision. Do I think he could win? Yes. Do I think it's kind of harder question to answer? But I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued, very excited for this fight. Again, these two are praying JDM wins, because if Islam wins, he's going to fight Ilya. So these two are praying for Hernan still in the main event, because the winner of this will be fighting JDM if that happens. But we'll see if that happens. Time will tell. Hopefully Michael Morales is the one walking out for win here. We'll see. I'm going to put my pick in as unbiasedly, and I'm not really sure if I think he's going to win or not yet, so we'll see on that. But, yeah. Biased pick, Morales the real pick, 50-50 fight that I'm very excited and intrigued in, so we'll see what happens. he got knocked out by Bilal. High chance Morales could knock him out. But also, if he can't grapple, Brady will just snuggle him for 15 boring minutes. So, see what happens. Great fight. Could have easily been a fight night main event, but I'm okay for getting pay-per-view spotlight. I think this Morales is only like second time out of the Apex. Or third. See how he does. Great fight. Biased pick. Still undefeated. Michael Morales. Ecuadorian Spider-Man. After that, though, we get to the co-main event of the evening. Maybe the best fight on the card, and in my opinion, maybe the fight I'm most hyped for on the card, to see who the best female fighter is in the world right now. Might be Dakota Ditchovich, but that's a different story. As we have our co-main event of the evening for the undisputed UFC Flyweight Championship of the world. But it's for more than that. It's for the #1 pound-for-pound female ranking. To see who's the #1 female fighter in the world right now. It's for a lot. Legacy, yada yada. Let's see what happens in our co-main event of the evening. For the Flyweight Championship, the 1 and 2 best female fighters in the world right now, and the co-main between Valentina Bullet Shevchenko versus Magnum Zhang Weili. Finally, we get this fight. Finally, we get to see what happens. Who is the best? We find out on Saturday night. 1 versus 2, a battle of 2 first ballot Hall of Famers, which is rare to say. This is gonna be great. I'm excited. Can't wait. We'll see what happens. Let's see what happens. Not very much else to say. Don't really need to hype you up on this fight, because if I have to, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This fight's great. Let's talk about it. We get over the defending champ here, and who they say is the #1 female fighter right now. No, they're wrong. Valentina Shevchenko, 25-4-1, 37 years old, 14-3-1 in the UFC. Not gonna go down her whole career, just the last couple fights. Obviously, we know she had that Grasso trilogy that was very weird and kind of showed a lot of cracks in the armor of Valentina, but she finally did escape that trilogy with the belt, and then in her last fight defended against Manon in a very shit, forgettable fight that some people say she lost, but I guess it was close. If I remember, I scored for her, but the fight sucked anyway, and now she's fighting Weili. I've said it a few times in the past, and I kind of still believe it. Valentina's kind of overrated. Not saying she's bad, but is she really as great as everyone says she is? Has she ever been on the level of Nunez or Cyborg or Weili or Prime Joanna? No, I don't think so. And especially lately, has she really been that good? Though in her last 5, really, if we count the Santos fight as a loss, because it should be, in her last 5, she's 2-2-1. And 2 of her wins are the most boring fights on those cards. So, like, I don't know. I'll just ask this question: what was Valentina's last great performance? Andrade? Of strawweight? Lauren Murphy? A can? Like, and you can, if you want to say any of her other title defenses, so let's just look at her title defenses here. What am I meant to be impressed with? Like, Joanna, cool. You beat a washed strawweight flyweight Joanna, cool. She lost this fight to Talia, but then I guess you look at the middle of her reign. What is meant to be impressive here? Like, I get she had shit competition. Liz Carmouche, okay, that's a good win. The rest, and Andrade is good, but she's a fucking atomweight being nice. Like Jessica Ai, Seminara, Maya Murphy, like. Those are pathetic excuses for title defenses, and I don't know. She's just kind of just overrated. Again, she's never been on the tier of Cyborg and Nunez. I always thought Weili was better. Joanna in her prime was better. Rose was not far behind. So, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying Valentina's bad, but she's kind of overrated. She has shit grappling. She has awful defensive grappling. Her offensive grappling is Like, she's gotten slower, she's gotten older. If she loses here, I would not be shocked if it's her last fight. Let's see what happens. This would be a giant tip in her cap for already a Hall of Fame career. Let's see if she can get it. Let's see if she can get the probably biggest one of her career. But to do that, she has to beat another first ballot Hall of Famer, the former strawweight champion, but now trying to go for bout number 2, Weili Zhang, 26-3, 36 years old, 10-2 in the UFC, the best female fighter in the world right now, and I don't see how you can make a debate between her and Valentina. If you want to look at her last 5 fights, KO Joanna into retirement, took the belt from Carla, and just ran through Tatiana, Lemos, Xiaonan, pretty much winning. I think she only lost over those 3 fights 2 rounds, if that. She is the best. Until I see otherwise. Right now, female-wise, she is the best. And I think she should win this fight. Yeah, those 2 Rose losses are bad, but those made her better. Truly, those made her better. And now we see the scariest, best version of Weili that we've seen in these last 5 fights. Fuck, you won't go with her last 5 fights. Again, she's only lost like 2 or 3 rounds over them, all combined. Trying to get bout number 2, already first bout Hall of Famer, would be the 2nd female champ. Let's see what happens, man. We know Weili, she's well-rounded, great striking, great grappling, great cardio, great fight IQ, everything. Unlike Valentina, she really doesn't have weaknesses in her game. She's only a year younger, but she does not look half as washed. It's Weili. What the fuck else am I meant to say? Let's see what happens. Let's fucking see what happens. The betting odds for this fight have Valentina as a slight favorite at -130 plus 110. I don't agree with those at all. I think those might be the worst odds on a card. I think Weili should be the favorite here. I would probably have Weili like -120, 140 in that ballpark. Or if you want to just have it a pick'em, it should be a pick'em. But Valentina the favorite? No. Val's 1 inch taller, 2.5 inches in reach, but Weili is 65% picked. Good job, Tapology. Yeah, and you can't even use, Weili is so short. She's only an inch shorter than Val, so that's not an issue. I'm going Anu. I think Weili should win this fight. I think she's better in 2025, and Prime for Prime, I think she's better as well. I'm going Weili. I think she's better. I think she can beat Val. I think in a striking match it's going to be really interesting. In a grappling match, I think Weili could easily win by just grapple fucking Val. If Jennifer Maia took a round off you doing that, Weili will take a whole fight off of you. I'm going Weili by decision. I think she's better. Is this fight going to end in a finish? No. Let's be honest. Probably fucking not. But yeah, I'm going Weili by decision. I think she should just win. I think she's better. I think Val's at the end of her road. And I'm going Weili Anu to get her 2nd belt and prove she is the best female fighter in the world, because she is. Until proven otherwise. Kayla's good. These 2 are better. Dakota Ditchovich, we've not seen in the big league yet. Who else is there? So, I'm going Weili, prove she's the best female fighter in the world, and set up a fight with Natalia Silva. So, the winner of this will fight Natty. The loser of this, we'll see. Maybe retire. Either way, can't wait. Amazing fight, great co-main. But I'm going Anu, Weili 2 bouts by decision. She's better. Could Valentina win? Of course. She's Valentina. But is she going to? I say no. I'm going Anu, Weili 2 bouts by decision. In a great co-main event between 2 first ballot Hall of Famers. But wait, there's more, as we still have one more fight to talk about, even though not very much to talk about here. But we still finally made it to our main event of the evening in the welterweight division for the undisputed UFC welterweight championship of the world. We have 10 UFC 322 shot, only an hour and 20 minutes into this. We've got to the main event. We have tens of night and MSG for the welterweight strap. We have the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC welterweight champion, Jack Della Maddalena, versus the inbred Nepo baby himself, Islam Makhachev. Sadly, I won't be wasting a lot of time here because I don't really think a lot needs to be said. What do I want to happen? I want the same thing everyone else wants to happen. I want JDM to win. Is it going to happen? Probably not. It's going to be a normal, boring Islam fight and win. So, yeah, biasly, I'm putting my pick in as JDM. I hope he breaks every fucking bone in Islam's body and wins, but more than likely, Inbred will get a boring cuddle fest decision and we'll all go home sad. So, yeah, not a lot to say. Hope JDM wins. Doubt it though. So sad thing, this should be Shavkat Islam, or I don't know, Ilya and Islam at lightweight, but whatever. At least this will lead us to Ilya and Islam, and unless Islam keeps ducking, which he probably will, but he can't duck forever, bitch. And we already know you ain't wasting time with Usman, Brady, or Morales, so fight Ilya. But let's just hope JDM wins. Unlikely, but we can pray. And my biased pick, JDM. But who I think is gonna win? Yeah, it's gonna be a normal boring Islam fight. So where it's gonna be a normal boring Islam fight where he looks ass for most of it, but then flukes out a win in the end. So yeah, please JDM win. Beat the shit out of this Khabib inbred Nepo baby. But I have my doubts. Probably not gonna happen, but I can still pray. I have many times before with Islam. I will again. Come on, Jack. Do it. Please. Please. We're begging you. And with that being said, finally, shortest breakdown or recap in a while, I can finally say, boom, that's the card. Do my picks one more time. Vyacheslav Borshev by knockout in second. By Sanger Susurkayev, my lock of the night by knockout in first. Fatima Klein by decision. Shepe Marshkala by decision. Kyle Dawkins by knockout in first. Still disgusting to say. Malcolm Wallmaker by knockout in first. Aaron Blanchfield by decision. Gregory Rodriguez by knockout in second. Bo Nickel by decision. Benoit Saint-Denis by knockout in the first. CP by knockout in the first. Michael Morales completely biased by decision. He could win. Wei Lee and New by decision. And Jack Della Maddalena completely biased. I'll just put it as a decision, even though I don't think he's gonna win. Biased kills all. JDM by decision. Bang. And that's the card we have on Saturday. Tomorrow, from when this is coming out. I can't wait. It's gonna be great. What else needs to be said? Shortest video, breakdown, recap wise in a while, which I'm more than happy about. And yeah, that's about it, man. I don't need to tell you this card's great. You know it is. Excuse me. Those are my picks. Some pretty easy. That didn't need a lot of time to waste. Jesus. Like Protez, Susurkayev, Wallmaker, few that were just sad picks to make, like Dawkins, where we already know Islam's probably gonna win. But then there was real fights to break down, and we did, and that's that. So, we'll see what happens. I'm excited. Gonna be a great card, and one more sleep. God, can't wait. Back in the garden for another great card. Way better than that shit we got last year. Let's see what happens in the garden this year. And that's that. Not very much else to say for the second to last pay-per-view ever and of the year. So, let's see what happens. You'll hear what happened from my perspective, or what I think of what happened, I guess. Sunday, normal recap time, as always. No day and time, I don't know when it's gonna come out. Especially with it being a late pay-per-view. Yeah, don't be shy if it's a late recap dropping. But, stream-wise, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you already know. Shorts, I'll have one out early on Saturday before getting out my picks one more time. And, yeah, that's about that, man. Not really a whole lot left to say. This card's gonna be great. I'm excited. And, let's enjoy some fucking fights in the garden. Some great ones at that. I can't wait. Let's fucking do it. So, that being said, not very much else that needs to be said. Let's fucking get one more sleep and enjoy a great fucking card. To do that, I have to say, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, 200 subs goal by the end of 2025. And unless I'm forgetting to say something, which I don't believe I am, let's get to this fucking card already. We made it. We've done our due diligence of watching some Apex cards. Now we've earned the big stuff. So let's fucking do it by saying, as always, RX out. Good vibes only. And always, please win, JDM.